Welcome to the Sunflower Stories. My name is Paul Shriver, and today I'll be talking to Maddie White about her experiences with the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower scheme. The idea behind these recordings is to share experiences, suggestions and ideas about the Sunflower scheme. Welcome, Maddie. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Maddie and I have a hidden disability.
Can you tell us a little bit about your condition and what it was like before you found the Sunflower scheme?
It used to be quite difficult generally with like socialisation. Places where I found it most difficult was going to the shops or going on holiday when I went to the airport, or like on public transport. If I'm on my own, I find that quite difficult. But since I have had the lanyard or just the other things, it's just made it a lot easier for me, and it's made me a lot more comfortable in those situations.
So things were sort of generally quite difficult on a kind of daily basis.
I'd find it quite difficult to ask, like if I couldn't find something, I'd be a bit uncomfortable with asking someone, because I wouldn't want to like go up to them and speak to them and stuff like that, because it would make me feel like really anxious or quite
Yeah, uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly. And I just find it quite a stressful situation.
How did you hear about the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower?
Well, I'm really lucky that my dad's like quite actively involved in the scheme. So when he was like first coming out and everything, and it was first being put together, he basically said, look, do you want to try it? Because I think it would help you as well as other people.
What made you choose, to wear the sunflower?
So the first time I properly used it was when we went on holiday a couple of years ago, and I just used it when I was going through the airport and through security and stuff, because I find that quite like stressful, and it makes me quite anxious because you've got to be at a certain place at a certain time. You've got to stand here, here and here, and there's like much flexibility in the situation. So I always find that quite difficult. So I started wearing it then to make myself feel more comfortable in those situations.
Was it something that, was noticed and then helped you with your situation?
Where people understand what it is without it being this massive thing, it just made it a lot easier for me, because they were more mindful of where I was and what I was doing, and whether I was like being taken care of or not. So it just made it a lot easier because they were actually aware of where I was.
Can I ask, Maddie, what it is you actually use or what you wear?
So I always wear like my little bracelet, like I have that on all the time. But normally when I go to the shops or when I go on the train and stuff like that, or when I go to the airport, I'll wear the lanyard with the like little ID card.
You've got a number of different items there from the scheme, and I suppose it's something that you then pick and choose depending on what it is you're going to do. So if you're going to an airport, for example, or somewhere, like a long journey, it's something that you might then consider. You take your lanyard with you, for example. Otherwise, you would just be wearing your band, your wristband.
So I have the like Oyster card and like train ticket hold thing as well. I always wear my lanyard when I go through the airport, just because it makes me feel a lot more comfortable.
So now, did you find it like something that is reassures you? It kind of is a comfort thing almost. It's like something that when you are carrying it, you feel that it kind of helps you with your situation as well.
Definitely. I think that kind of if I wear it, I'm a lot more comfortable, and I feel like people do recognise that I'm wearing it. And every time I've worn it at the airport or anything, I've always been very well looked after.
Do you feel that it gets noticed then when you're wearing it? In an airport, for example, or if you're in a shop, have you, do you feel that people see that? They see it?
Especially when I went on holiday with school to New York, and there's a couple of us in my group who have hidden disabilities. So there was like 4 or 5 of us who were wearing our lanyards. And when we started to go through security, they like came up to us and they were like, oh look, because we can keep you all together and we can take you through a different way to make it less stressful for the guys who are wearing their lanyards.
You just mentioned going away with your school. When you were in that group, obviously some of you would have had a lanyard and others wouldn't. Do you feel that the whole group was treated and considered because of 1 or 2 people wearing that lanyard as opposed to just an individual?
When they were sorting it all out and letting us go through a different way, they focused most on the people who were wearing a lanyard because they were the people who they were most concerned about. But they didn't take us away. We had 2 teachers on our trip, so they didn't say, oh, one teacher, you can come with these guys, the rest of you go through. They let us all go through together.
Yeah, I suppose that's what I'm trying to say. It's like it's inclusive, and that you're kept, you're still part of that group of people, but everybody is helped because of it rather than just one. Because the last thing you want to do is to be, signaled out as being on your own, because that makes you feel even worse, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that would then have like a negative effect if I was singled out. It wouldn't have like a good effect on the situation. I think it would make it even worse.
Do you have any memorable experiences of you, wearing the sunflower? I mean, you've just explained one of them, obviously, but is there anything else that kind of stands out as being, something that you could use as an example of how well it worked for you?
And we went on holiday a couple of years ago when it was kind of first becoming a proper thing. Like it wasn't as big as it is now, like people weren't as aware of it. And we were queuing up to get back through into the country through passport control. And that's always, I find like big long queues like that, I find them a bit uncomfortable because obviously like all of the railings are all like kept and like herded through kind of thing. But they recognized that I was wearing my lanyard, and they basically said to me and my family, they were like, look, we can take you through special assistance to help you like avoid the queues and make it more comfortable. So we did that, and I was just surprised at like the level that they went to.
That's fantastic.
They went completely like out of their way to make sure that.
And Maddie, were you with your family then? Did they include all of you?
Yeah. So I was with my mum, my dad, and my sister, and they took all of us through. They just like recognised that I was wearing it. They were like, "Oh, you guys can come through here," and then escorted us down to that bit, and then we all went through together.
That's a great story. Thank you. Okay, so would you, obviously, I think I know the answer to this, but would you recommend the Sunflower Scheme to others with hidden disabilities then?
Yeah, definitely. Like I think I already have in a way, because one of my really close friends has autism, and she uses the lanyard when she goes out, and it's definitely helped her a lot.
Is there anything else, sort of, finally, that you would, add, or any suggestions for the scheme that might, help to improve the support for its wearers that you can think of?
Posters and stuff, if that makes sense, because I just think there's probably a lot of people who have a hidden disability that haven't actually heard about the scheme, because it's not, because I remember when the like supermarkets first like got into it, they had like posters up everywhere about it, but you don't really see them as often anymore.
Even if you have posters up in those big environments, or videos that are running, it just highlights the fact that there are people around you with possible hidden disabilities, and that just encourages awareness and will help others.
Especially when it's stuff like people who are like hard of hearing or like partially sighted or something. I'm sure that's a lot more difficult in those situations.
It's a very good point that we need to up the kind of awareness of the scheme, because the more people are aware of the scheme, you know, the more everyone will be on board with it and understand that if somebody is wearing something with the sunflower, that they might just need a little bit more help and time and a bit more care and kindness. Thank you very much for your time today, Maddie. It's been insightful and will hopefully help others. If you'd like to find out more about us or listen to this recording again, please check out our website at hiddendisabilitiesstore.com and visit our Insights page. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and YouTube. Please join us again soon for the next Sunflower story.